My name is Joseph, and over there is Peter, and we are doing a report on the book entitled The Little Red Riding Hood. The Little Red Riding Hood is a fairy tale and was published May 8, 2012. The author is Leanne Genter. Summary of the story.
The Little Red Riding Hood by Leanne Genter. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near the forest. Whenever she went out, the little girl wore a red riding cloak, so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood.
One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go to visit her grandmother, as it had been a while since they had seen each other.
When the basket was ready, the little girl put on her red cloak and kissed her mother goodbye. But when Little Red Riding Hood noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, she forgot her promise to her mother. She picked a few, watched the butterfly flit about for a while, listened to the frogs croaking, and then picked a few more.
Little Red Riding Hood was enjoying the warm summer day, so much that she didn't notice a dark shadow approaching out of the forest behind her. Suddenly, the wolf appeared beside her. Then she realized how late she was and quickly excused herself, rushing down the path to her grandma's house.
The wolf in the meantime took a shortcut. The wolf, a little out of breath from running, arrived at grandma's and knocked lightly at the door. The wolf let himself in. Poor Granny did not have time to say another word before the wolf gobbled her up.
A few minutes later, Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. The wolf jumped into the bed and pulled the cover over his nose. When Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she could scarcely recognize her grandmother.
Almost too late, Little Red Riding Hood realized that the person in the bed was not her grandmother. She ran across the room and through the door, shouting. A woodman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. He grabbed the wolf and made him spit out poor grandmother, who was a bit puzzled by the whole experience, but still in one piece.
We are going to explain the literary elements of the Little Red Riding Hood story. The first element is the plot.
Exposition. It is when Little Red Riding Hood has prepared a basket of goodies for her grandmother. She begins walking through dangerous wood to deliver the basket.
Rising action. It is when the big bad wolf spots Little Red walking in the woods and asks her where she's going with the basket of treats. Then the wolf runs to the grandmother's house, eats hers, puts the nightgowns, and dabs some perfumes in his pointy ears. Then Little Red Riding Hood arrived at her grandmother's house and entered. Little Red Riding Hood questions all the things that appear different about her grandmother.
Climax. Little Red Riding Hood comments on the wolf's nose, eyes, ears, and teeth, and we respond by eating her in one gulp. Following action. The woodsman arrives on the scene to discover the wolf dressed as the grandmother, and quickly help Little Red Riding Hood. Denouement. The woodsman grabbed the wolf and made him spit out the poor grandmother.
Setting includes the woods, where Little Red Riding Hood is distracted by the flowers and butterflies, and also encountered the hungry bad wolf, and Grandma's cottage, the place where Little Red Riding Hood headed, and also the place where Grandma was eaten by the wolf and rescued by the woodsman.
Characters. The characters in the story are Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf, the grandmother, and the woodsman. Little Red Riding Hood is the protagonist, while the Big Bad Wolf is the antagonist. The story's point of view is third-person omniscient, since the narrator knows everything from the story. The main theme of the story is being obedient. Essentially, Little Red Riding Hood is sent on a specific journey told not to leave the path and yet because she does, she finds herself in a dangerous situation.